Hey guys, and welcome back to another What If here. Today we are doing what if the Uzumaki Clan had a dojutsu part 2. If you want to know anything about the eye or that, what does the dojutsu do, what does the eye do, go to the last part 1, which will possibly be linked in the description down below, or the playlist, well, one of the two. And dang it, I was going to say something, but I forgot now. But yeah, also she's got mum Kushina, which she survived thanks to the eye's ability. Like after being born, if the person awakens, like his child has the eye. Yeah. So Ruby would wake up from a she would occasionally, especially on this night, because she was so, just so excited. Kuma was like, well, I'm going to pull her into, into her mindscape, so at least her body can get rest, while I can just, talk to her until it's daylight. And that's what they, do. She gets some, Kuma does, does tell her that, when you're, you'll be thinking, then you go, well, Ruby, I think once you're around 6 to 10 years old, maybe you can start working on controlling my chakras. You want me to start working on your chakra when I'm 6 to 10 years old? Is that? Yes, as I hope by then you've got a good grasp of chakra control, and, well, yeah, it would be quite hard because, controlling my chakra will also transform you slowly. The more chakra you pull out, the more tails you'll get, and then if you get all 9, you'll transform into me. And, yeah. As it go, okay, but then, would it be a girl fox transformation, or, just the you with your male gender go? I'm not sure, as I have never had a Jinchuriki, a host that has used my chakra. You'd be the first person who has ever used my chakra, besides from me, of course. Yeah, it's alright. I was, after some more time, her mum's calling, Kushina's calling up, and Ruby, come on, time to get up. And the alarm also goes off, so she's like, oh well, Kuma, oh well, I guess I'll be back here tonight. Talk to you, you've got to be lonely. It's anyway, I better get up before Mum decides to come up and try and beat me out of bed. As he kind of, chuckles to that as she gets up, she gets, dressed, and goes down. Does whatever she has to do. Yeah, and she'll be looking forward today, as Kushina's you seem happy. It's well, yeah, we finally get to do chakra, chakra training. It's well, we'll be working on your chakra control, as you probably, obviously you don't have any really. And after doing some of that, we'll probably go into doing some sparring, but we'll also try and get one of your two Geki Genkai. It's one of two. It's huh? I know you've told me that I've got the rarest eyes of the the Uzumaki Clan, but our clan had two Genkai? It's like, yes. It's incredibly rare for a clan to have, a Genkai, and to have two of them is quite rare. And, our Genkai isn't like, well, once you mature it, you really don't have to open your eyes to even, walk. So most Uzumakis, once, if they have the eye, they never really open their eyes. They'll generally, of course, have their eyes open, but once they, go to use the eye, they'll generally, use their eyes, they will generally close their eyes, so, yeah. But, it's up to you, but that's just how most of our clan is. It's what used to be our clan, because, to my knowledge, we're the last two. We could be very much the last two survivors of our clan. I hope there are other people, other Uzumakis out there, but I fear that it's just me and you. Anyway, yeah, and the other Genkai, which everyone in that clan can use to some extent. It's what's up, Mum? I don't think I've ever seen you use that one then. It's no, you wouldn't have, as it's, it's not something I really use that often. As she'd pull out a chain and show her. I was what is this? The other? It's yes. Was most of our clan has this jutsu, Genkai. Not everyone does. It's very few and far between. It's more so the half breeds of the clan. So people who are 50% Uzumaki and 50% something else generally don't have the Genkai. And yeah. And because you are a half breed, you are a half breed from the Maki Clan and another, I think, clan possibly. We never really, me and your father, never really looked into it to see if your father actually, if your father's last name was actually a clan, or was it just, a last name that they gave him. I'm not sure if it was just a family name, or was it a clan's name. We never really found that out. So, yeah, that's why you called, Uzumaki after me instead of, instead of, after your dad's last name. And, yeah, they would, carry on talking for a little bit more. I should also explain, because when you were born, of course you had your eyes active, and thus you, we flipped you over so that you could see me, and you copied our clan's Genkai. Most people call it the Uzumaki chains, and some other people call it the Antimantian sealing chains. Some people call it the Uzumaki Antimantian sealing chains, and it goes by some other names, but it's certainly Antimantian. But yeah, what us Uzumakis call it is just Antimantian sealing chains. But yeah, it is some of us also say Uzumaki chains, and that if we're in battle and that, then we'll say it by that. But yeah, and sometimes we don't even call it out as, yeah, you don't give your enemy a hint of what you're gonna do. Yeah, and it's well, yeah, but how do you know I was successful in copying it? Well, your eyes changed in colour. It's generally only at birth, when, because you can do it until you get your when you then set up like your chakra link, so that you can control your chakra. Only once then that's set up, and generally, well, most people don't have a tailed beast inside of them to help them awaken their chakra. Because most people generally have to wait until they're until they enter the academy, and then even then it may be like a year or two later, so when they're 6, maybe 5, 6 or 7 years old, before they get their chakra set up. And that in this day and age, back when the war was going on, you were expected to do chakra control and all of that by the time you were 3 or 4 years old. So yeah. Oh yeah. It's well, whilst we obviously do that, I'll also be, going through talking about the difference between the male body and the female body. It's I was she goes bit embarrassed, come on, it's I only spent 4 years of my life as a boy. And it's I'm generally going to spend most of my life, now as a girl. It's yeah, but still, by the time you're, it's in 3 months now. In 3 months now, Ruby, you'll be going to the, into the academy. And most girls there will generally know the difference between a male and a female. Well, obviously, you do, as you both, you've been both. You are, well, yeah, you've been both. So, yeah. But also, the girls generally know the ins and out of their body, or at least, some girls do. But generally, most girls will know the ins and outs of their body by the time they're around, 10 to 11 years old, so when puberty starts. It's so then why don't you just tell me then? It's well, because I want you to know now. Yeah, and, who knows, that I could have also sped up your puberty. Who knows, maybe you'll be, 6. Who knows? Because when ninjas and even though of course we have our clan's the only clan really known to have a ridiculous lifetime, as if you survive through the war and that, a Uzumaki Clan member can easily go from the first Hokage to the 4th Hokage, the 3rd, which was a person, but yeah, they can easily go from say being old enough to remember the 1st to being able being maybe they could easily survive until the 4th Hokage, and maybe see the 5th Hokage. So well, I didn't know how clan could live for that long. It's yeah, her clan really did live, have a very high life expectancy, and I think because of that, our clan was quite big, and because of that fact, even though I said, around 100 people, that's 100 people in active ninja duty. Most people, Uzumakis tend to retire at the age of around 60 to 70. Sometimes some will keep on going until they're 100 before they retire, as they don't want to spend most of their time in the village moping about, not knowing what to do, what to do today and stuff like that. It's Ruby understands, and it's crazy to know that whoever I may marry, I could easily outlive if there is no new war. So yeah, or you don't have Kuma with you, but then again, because you've got those eyes, we don't really know, as we've never, because the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails before me, she didn't have the Uzumaki Eye, and well, I don't, but you know you do. So you're the first person also in the Nine Tails' history to have either seen those eyes or to have been with a person with those eyes. As well, both Kumas, would go, well, no, we have seen those eyes before, as we've wondered about and that. But yes, this is my first time being inside being sealed inside of someone with the eye, and compared to what the other eyes are from, like the Uchiha and the Uchiha Eye is a descendant, and that I would say, but it's the Uzumaki Eye is a descendant of something else. So what is it? It's a direct descendant. Instead of being say going from one state to another, it's a direct, meaning that it hasn't changed since it first existed, you could say. So yeah, and this is, I think, this Sage of Six Paths, if I remember right, I think I remember him saying that that eye, which of course is now called the Uzumaki Eye. But yeah, it's that eye, it trumped over every eye out there. It's if you can get it to because it can even go to a Renegon state. So this Sage Six Paths Eye, it can go to a state like that and even better than that. So yeah, and this Sharingan doesn't hold a candle to this. The mature, no matter what stage of the Sharingan, those blue eyes you've got, Ruby, the Sharingan does not stand a chance against it. As what if I had the more lighter blue one? It's they still wouldn't stand a chance, but the matured stage 2 or stage 3 version of the Uchiha Eye would have a chance, but that's maybe, we don't really know, but I can say for certain that the lighter blue isn't a direct descendant. The lighter blue is say that more people could be born with the eye, but at a lesser strength. Whereas, your bright blue eye is a direct, it's not even a descendant, it is the eye that, yeah. And, as you say, what, one person was at least able to do, because why not? But yeah, and I just she's excited. She's excited to get the and kind of go. Oh, and it takes a long. It can take a while for the eye to mature. It's it does. It does. It can take years to mature, but it depends on how much chakra really you pump into it and how much you use. So if you walk around daily with it, you're probably going to awaken it, have it matured faster. Yeah, and that's because it's once you awaken it and can control it, I won't be holding back. Kuma's like in his head, well, he doesn't speak like say it, but he's like, that's definitely the fastest way to like get him matured. Constantly put the use in and like a near like death state, pretty much. But yeah, it was then after I've at breakfast and that they would go out do do like a warm up and that, and then they get ready. Well, as Kushina's like, well, what I'm going to teach you first, which hopefully you get, is how to walk up a tree. It's like how to walk up a tree. It's like you can just walk straight up a tree. So what? You got to be joking, Mum. I was like, she goes, well, come over here. And Kushina would just walk straight up a tree. Well, we'd be quite surprised, and she'd go, oh, I want to do, my turn. Yeah, as Kushina's like, calm down. And she will explain on how to do it. Yeah. She would, fail maybe 4 or 5 times. But after the 6th try, she starts getting it and starts getting higher and higher, but by massive steps. Yeah. So instead of going up and up by maybe say 2 to 3 centimeters, it's more almost a meter. Yeah. My voice. Yeah, and after say around 4 hours, she actually ends up reaching the top, and Kushina's like, well, now I want you to run up and down that tree. So what? It's you may be able to now get up there, but that's not the same. It's good you can get up there, but I want you to push it to second nature, so that you can just be in a battle, focusing on hitting the person, doing jutsus and that, and you could be thrown to a wall, and start running across the wall, or back up, and then all of a sudden start walking up a wall without you noticing. That's what I want it to be, and that's what I can do when I'm in battle. Yeah. I assume after a day of training, and she's starting to do this a lot more now. So yeah, after around a day, well, say after 2 to 3 days of training, she's finally got it to second nature. But the sponge, she's good. Now next one's gonna be harder, as you're gonna now learn how to walk on water. It's well, I can just straight up stand on water, not fall through it. It's yep, you'll be able to stand on water. And just the tree exercise, I want you to be able to push, be able to have it second nature. I want you to be able to walk up a waterfall with it. It's isn't that impossible? It's well, no, well, a lot of people in our clan could do it, as most people, once we got water walking, we'd get to second nature, but we'd never go that extreme. But I did, as I was going to another village at that time, which is here, as I wasn't sure on that, and so my parents and the village elder decided to, told me that I should put my walk into the max and be able to walk up a waterfall and fight, and fight on a waterfall. It's it is a lot harder than anything else, because obviously it's moving underneath you and you have to stay in one place. But yeah, you will get a hang of it eventually. As for after like a day of training, she like as Kushina's like, come on, I think it's getting late now. I think we should go back. Go back and start dinner. She's like, no, one more time. I know I'm close to doing it. As she finally gets on the water and she manages to finally walk on it. But of course, the second her stomach growls, he falls through it as she's hungry, obviously. And yeah, as Kushina just chuckles to herself. It's like, well, you managed to do it, but yeah, seems like we're both hungry. And again, after 3 to 4 days, she manages to push to second nature, and Kushina's like, now the hard thing for me is, like, what's that? Finding a waterfall. Yeah. And pretty much after some convincing, the Fodokage just goes, fine, Kushina, I'll ask him if he could do a waterfall for you to help with Ruby's training. It's like, but why do you want a waterfall in the first place? It's like, well, it's more so just an Uzumaki tradition that if you're in another village that ain't the Uzumaki clan's village, you have to learn how to fight on a waterfall. It's like, what? Like, I just hear you, like, fight on a waterfall. It's like, yep. And most people that are ninjas or that were ninjas in the Uzumaki clan could walk on a waterfall straight up and straight down and stick to it, So yeah, most people could, of course, because most people did train, but you wasn't. It was more so just something that if you're in a battle and you're near, say, waterfall or whatever, you had the best chance of surviving, because somebody else would fall straight off the waterfall if they tried walking on it, and they see you you can just go no, try and come get me. And yeah, they'd immediately slip off, as they've done the water walking, but they haven't done that. As he's like, damn, you're going, I hope you realise that, well, just promise me this, Kushina, that you don't, overwork. It's like, well, she's my child, and she's an Uzumaki. It's the best way we know how to, it's our way of learning to push ourselves to our absolute limit and beyond. As after a day, the thing is created, the waterfall is created, and after a month of training, she manages to finally walk up and down the waterfall without falling off. As of course now they start sparring and that. As Kushina is curious on what chakra nature she's got, but she won't start that yet. Maybe when she's 6 or 10 years old. But yeah. But then again, she's like, well, I at least can. No. She's thinking, maybe should I show? She's like, I don't know. She's like, yeah, fine. I will at least want to know what her chakra natures are, so I could think of what jutsus she could be able to do. But then again, with her eye, with the Uzumaki eyes, I wonder if she'll have all the natures. As some people have had all the natures. It's for every, 10 people, there's only 10 people in these, generally, that can go up and down, in the clan at once, that has the bright blue eyes that Ruby has. And out of those 10, 5 of them were born with all 5 chakra natures, and the other 5 have mastered all 5 chakra natures, or at least has a jutsu in all 5 of them. Because even though say Naruto can Naruto, he's only got wind, he could learn fire, and I'm on about Naruto before you becomes the Jinchuriki to every single tail beast. And you start moaning at me, no, that was only temporary. Well, he's got a bit of chakra of every single tailed beast. Yeah, it's a little bit, but it's a little bit that's so-called self-regenerating, as each tail beast can share some of its chakra with Naruto. So yeah, anyway, yeah, and should be training Kushina is thinking as she's well, I guess tomorrow we'll see, we'll try and see what the catalyst is to get your eye working. Maybe it's just forcing chakra into your eyes or stuff like that, but for today I think we should go and eat and wash up. That's what she does, and she awakens her eye. The next day she wake up, she does the same thing, warm up, they spar for a little bit, from going from land to water to, so from flat land to water to fighting on the waterfall, while sparring on the waterfall. And well, Kushina's I think that's it for our spar for today. I think it's time for for your jutsu training now, and see if we can find out what awakens your eye. As well, yeah, she'll push a bit of chakra into her eyes as it just awakens. It's quite easily. And when I mean awaken, I just mean comes on as she's I was thinking, it's just as she'll try and hit her, no, not holding back, as she throws a punch, and it's almost go, it's not slow motion, but she can at least see where, not where it's going to hit. Well, yeah, just where it's going to hit. She can see, almost see a prediction of where it is, a physical prediction, as she moves her head, as it just goes flying, as Kushina misses, and it's just so you can see where I'm gonna, you can see where I'm going to attack. It's well, no, it's more I can almost predict where it is. So I guess for people who I don't know their fighting style or that, I could end up dodging into attack instead of actually dodging the attack. In this case, and I was oh, okay, but I guess as you mature, as the eye once the eye matures, it'll be a lot better. And as now they start sparring, with the eye, as on Kushina, no, not Kushina, as it's just hey, you show me how to access my other Genkai. It's Uzumaki's, well, yeah, Genkai, the chains. And it's just well, let's have lunch, and then I guess after lunch we can, do it. I can start chaining you, as that's what they do. They have lunch, and then they go on to do that. And she did Kushina did, or like the next day, as Kushina goes to wake up. Well, yeah, actually goes upstairs and wakes up Ruby, as Kushina knows she's gonna be probably knackered, as it's really the first time that she's had a real, constant drain on her chakra pool from doing all that fighting with her eye, with the eyes. I was Kushina's just like, damn, she's so cute. And also the mission from that mission that she did go on, I can't remember what that was now. I think it was to get Tsunade back. Yeah, to bring Tsunade back into the village, which it did work. As Tsunade's, also interested in in Kushina's daughter. So, so Ruby has, been introduced and seen the Slug Princess, Tsunade. And yeah. As, she, Tsunade will generally watch some, training that. As, Tsunade is, impressed that, they can walk up a wall, they can, spot on a waterfall, and that, as, even, tries, yeah, well, you've got to hand it for those, who, for the members of the Uzumaki Clan, they definitely knew how to, definitely knew how to control their chakra. So, yeah, you can definitely say that again, is, they're fighting on a waterfall, come on. I didn't think that was even possible to walk up a waterfall, but, yeah. So, yeah, I guess you generally don't, encounter that many waterfalls, but, where they live, they probably did, and if there was ever an invasion or that, they probably taught you how to walk, walk on the waterfalls and that for, better opportunity, and especially, say if that waterfall's massive, or, say, it's massive, you could easily, just walk on the water and then just walk all the way down the waterfall with no issue. You would have to carry, other people, any other person that's with you, because they'd probably end up otherwise just falling straight into the river below, or the sea below, wherever it is. I just they just talk for a little bit more as they train. As the 5 months are up and she goes in, but she has awakened her chains as well, as she can't obviously control them as well as Kushina can. But she's slowly getting there as Kushina is making her, makes her, pretty much, write her name in dirt. Well, first it was sand, then wet sand, then dirt, then it would be stone. Yep. As, the more, because, well, yeah, it requires more training for each one. And the better you are with them, the easier, it'd be. Yeah. As, well, yeah, she enters the academy as, I don't know when Iruka became, the sensei, but I'll see, in this timeline, he's already there as a teacher. Maybe he was. Actually, I think he was. But yeah. She'll, Iruka will go, oh, hi everyone, today we've got a new person joining our class. They're like, oh? Who is it? You go, you can come in now. Most of the people know who, Kushina is, most of the, Konoichis, most people either fear her, like on getting on the bad side, because like you've got a death sentence if you make her angry. Yeah, it's like she's a lot worse than Tsunade. Tsunade will at least leave you breathing, like alive. Tsunade, not Tsunade, Kushina, if you make her mad, you've definitely signed your death certificate, your one-way trip to death. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, like, well, yeah, it's well, because like therefore, as the Uchiha massacre hasn't happened yet, Sasuke is just like, great, another fan girl, or at least that's what he thinks at first. As she goes, well, as Iruka goes, well, tell us, like your name and like what you want to be when you're older. It's like, well, I am Ruby Uzumaki, and I want to be the Hokage. Like my goal is to become the Hokage, the best and strongest Hokage that ever was. As I think it would be. I can't remember his name. The person with the dog named nope, not yours. Kiba. Kiba would go, I don't think your girl could become Hokage as well. Like he would quite quickly quickly have to say sorry, as there'd be chains around his neck as you go. As she'd go, what did you just say, dog boy? Next time, watch what you're going to say about me. So if I hear it, next time, you're dead, got it? As he is like, bring it on then, as, haven't you seen, what's around your neck? As he's like, what do you mean? As he's now scared, as Sasuke's like, oh, she seems strong, and she goes, oh, and there's one more thing. I hate the Uchiha clan for what they did to one of my friends. I hate them. So if there's an Uchiha here, and we ever get paired up, prepare your death certificate, because you've got a one-way trip to death. Yeah, as you say that as as you as the as dang it, Sasuke is just like, okay, maybe she's not a fangirl, maybe she's just saying that to get close. As the other guy's like, what have you got wrong with the Uchiha? The Uchiha, they're the best clan. So, then your parents have taught you wrong. If they're the best clan, there was a clan that was feared in all of the elemental nations. It's just like, it's like, well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So why don't you sit down? Well, sit, like up there, as as she'll go up by Ki, no, not Kiba, Shikamaru. No, not Shikamaru. Yes. The one that always says, troublesome and that. Yeah. As, like, she goes up and sits down by him. I just, they'll slowly, get along well together, as, they're both quite well, educated and that. And, yeah. As he goes, well, I think you're the first guy I know that's not a fanboy of that Uchiha down there. It's like, I hate them. I'd rather them be wiped out, and if I could, I would wipe them out all by myself. He's just like, what did they do? It's like, well, my friend, they, well, I can't really say, but the Uchiha clan forced one of my friends to do something bad, and well, now like she's she was hated for it, and it's like okay. Yeah, like she's being a bit cryptic because she doesn't want to say who she's on about. Which, if you guys don't also know about, don't know what she's on about, well, I'm on about is the nine-tailed fox, Kuma. And Kuma is a friend. Yeah. Oh, I'm knackered. I am knackered. Anyway. So yeah, and it's like, like Iruka would, make sure everyone's, and then they'd go on, and it's like, well, today class will be talking about the clans, and the most feared clans of them all. And well, I think we should go from the top to the bottom, say from the most feared to the least feared. As Sasuke's like, even though he's not the emo person yet, he still thinks his clan's the best, it's the strongest. And so, say well, number one is the Uzumaki clan. It's or at least we've got two people here as well. Well, we've got two people in our village that are of the Uzumaki clan. Ruby here, and her mum Kushina Uzumaki, and they were feared across all elemental nations. Even though we had we had a lifetime treaty with them, we were still very scared of them, because if they ever went, they could go to war with any country and win. No matter how strong the village was, the Uzumaki clan would beat them, because they had just sheer raw chakra capacity, and plus they've also got the longest lifespan of all, as the Uzumaki people have been known to being alive. Still alive when they're around 150. Some have even reached 200 years old before they have died. So, yeah. And also, they've got ridiculous chakra pool. And plus, they are. I don't really want to say this, but yeah, I'd say, well, yeah. Well, he's a teacher and he doesn't really probably know that much. And they're the only clan known in existence to have two Gekigenkai. What? The Uzumakis have got two? It's yeah. And I was informed by the third Hokage that Ruby, little Ruby right here, has got both Gekigenkai. One of them, you've seen already, which was the chakra, they're even known as the chakra chains, the Uzumaki chains, the Uzumaki sealing chains, or the adamantine sealing chains. It goes by those names. Some call it something else, but yeah. And that's one of their Gekigenkai. The other one, which she was which is generally got from birth, as I normally knows, unless you're in an Uzumaki, only the Uzumakis know of the second Gekigenkai. We only know that it's a dojutsu, it's something to do with their eyes, and we also know that it's also stronger, and I mean a lot stronger, than the Uchiha eyes. It's been stated that one Uzumaki that had got the eye to its second evolved state, into its first evolved state, be around 100 Uchihas that had the Mangekyo Sharingan. Yeah. As you know, they'd be impressed. You know, they'd be like, what? It's like, yeah, the eye is very, very strong. And that's why their clan was wiped. Well, in the third great shinobi war, it was pretty much almost all wiped out. There are survivors that are across the land, but all that we know, Kushina Uzumaki and her daughter Ruby Uzumaki are the only two survivors of the clan that are alive today. And luckily enough, Ruby was born with her eyes, which I think she's the only one now in the world with the Uzumaki eyes. It's like, well then, it's also known to have a safety feature, which if the Uzumaki Clan give you that, if you steal like an Uzumaki Eye or that, it will not work. Only another Uzumaki can use the Uzumaki Eye. It doesn't matter if you've had the eye or not. If you're an Uzumaki, you'll be able to use the eye. Yeah. And you go on to explain the Senju clan, because they were pretty strong, and they're the only ones to be able. Well, I think besides from that, the Senju clan were the only ones really the Uchihas really feared, as the Uzumaki strongly kept to themselves, really. But yeah. Anyway, and you'd explain the other clans and that. But yeah, they'd be surprised, and the fangirls, are just no, the Uchiha clan is the best. Yeah. But a lot of other stuff. Well, what fangirls do, what to expect. They're not going to believe the truth. And well, gonna end it here, guys. So yeah, so in the next part 3, we should probably be in the team, where she gets a team, so there will be, time skippers. I'm not going to go through it, really through the school life, maybe in the beginning, maybe the first 10-20 minutes, but yeah, I think that's it. I think that, it'd be all then time skipping that. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this, if you enjoyed it so much and you want to see more just like this, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next What If full video tomorrow, and hey, good bye.